Welcome. You've tuned in for a deep dive into the incredible world of Japan.
That's right.
We've got some really fascinating insights here, kind of like your personal travel guide. We're highlighting not just the famous landmarks everyone knows, but also those, unique local tastes and experiences.
Exactly. Think of it as getting the inside track before you even pack your bags.
Yeah.
Our material really spans from, say, the awe-inspiring Mount Fuji all the way to the really diverse culture of the Tokyo Islands. It gives you a real sense of the natural beauty and the different vibes you'll find. So our aim really is to give you a solid overview to help plan your trip, focusing on memorable experiences and maybe nudging you a bit off the main tourist trails for something, well, richer.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Mount Fuji. I mean, it's the symbol of Japan, isn't it? Hard to picture Japan without it.
Undeniably, yeah. It's soaring. Well, 12,400 feet, highest peak in the country.
Wow.
And it's about, 60 miles west of the Tokyo-Yokohama area? And interestingly, it looks so serene, but geologists still classify it as active, even though the last big eruption was way back in 1707.
Huh. Still active.
Yep. It's a key part of the Fuji Hakone-Izu National Park that was established back in 1936, and it got UNESCO World Heritage status in 2013. So it's globally important.
And the name Fuji, I've always wondered about that. Where does it actually come from?
It's interesting, yeah, the material suggests it's a bit of a puzzle. The first written record we have is Fuji no Yama from around 713 CE.
Okay.
There are theories. One links it to an Ainu word for fire, plus the Japanese word for mountain, san.
Fire mountain makes sense for a volcano.
Kinda, yeah. But what's cool is the kanji, the characters they use to write Fuji today, they actually mean things like good fortune.
Oh, nice.
And a quick tip for travelers. Japanese speakers nearly always say Fuji-san. You sometimes hear foreigners say Fujiyama, but that's sort of like saying Mount Fuji Mountain. A bit redundant.
Fuji-san. Got it. Good tip. So it's obviously more than just a pretty mountain. It sounds deeply, deeply embedded in the culture.
Profoundly so. Yeah. It's seen as this sacred symbol. For many Japanese people, there's a real personal, almost spiritual connection. Every summer, thousands and thousands climb it. There's a shrine right at the summit they aim for.
A pilgrimage, almost.
Absolutely can be. And its image, well, it's everywhere in Japanese art. You can't talk about Fuji without mentioning Hokusai's famous 36 views of Mount Fuji.
Oh, yeah, those woodblock prints, they're amazing.
They really are, from the early 19th century. They basically cemented Fuji's image in the global mind.
Now, I remember hearing a story, maybe a legend, about an earthquake forming Fuji in one go. Is there any truth to that?
That is the traditional story, yeah.
Yeah.
Dates it to about 286 BCE. But the geology tells a much longer, more complex story.
Figured as much.
Right. The formation likely started millions of years ago, maybe 2.6 million, on a much older base. The first actual eruptions and peaks probably started appearing after about 700,000 years ago.
So built up over time.
Exactly. It basically grew out of earlier volcanoes.
No.
There's Komatake on the north slope and Ashitakayama to the southeast. Fuji sort of rose up between them.
Like layers of volcanic history.
That's a good way to put it. It's a stratovolcano built up layer by layer from lava and ash. That's what gives it that classic cone shape.
Okay.
So it started rising between those older mountains maybe 400,000 years ago. And the shape we see today, that near-perfect taper, that's mostly thanks to Shin Fuji, or New Fuji.
Fuji.
Yeah, that phase started about 10,000 years ago and continues to the present. Before that was Ko-Fuji, or Old Fuji, active around 100,000 years ago, built on the Komatake base. So 3 main stages.
Fascinating. And Fuji isn't isolated, is it? It's part of a bigger volcanic picture.
Absolutely. It sits within the Fuji Volcanic Zone, which is this huge belt stretching all the way from the Mariana Islands up through the Izu Islands and into northern Honshu.
Wow. What's driving all that?
It's primarily subduction. You've got the Pacific Plate being forced underneath the Philippine Plate, right there with the Nankai Trough off Japan's coast.
Okay, plate tectonics.
Exactly. That massive pressure and heat melts rock, creates magma, and boom, volcanoes. Historically, the Fuji area seems to have major eruptions roughly every, say, 500 years or so.
Every 500 years. So that 1707 eruption was the last major one. What was that like?
Yeah, December 1707. The accounts describe ash falling so heavily it darkened the sky in Edo, Old Tokyo. It buried farmland nearby.
Intense.
And geologists think it might have been triggered by a huge earthquake, magnitude 8.4, that happened about 49 days before the eruption.
Wow, a connection there.
Seems likely. Since then, it's mostly been smaller quakes, though there was a magnitude 6.4 aftershock on its southern side right after the big 2011 Tohoku earthquake. A reminder it's definitely not extinct.
Right, always there. Now, shifting slightly, I know the area around Fuji has those famous lakes, the Fuji 5 lakes. Are they worth checking out?
Oh, absolutely. Fuji Goko, they're called. Lake Yamanaka, Kawaguchi, Sai, Shuji, and Motosu. They're all nestled on the northern side.
How did they form?
Basically, ancient lava flows from Fuji blocked up rivers, creating these natural dams and forming the lakes.
Cool.
And Lake Kawaguchi, it's the lowest one, and probably the most famous for those stunning mirror image reflections of Fuji you see in photos. Needs a clear, calm day, though.
The postcard shot.
Exactly. The whole Five Lakes area is really developed for tourism now. You've got amusement parks, gardens, resorts, even skiing in winter. Lake Yamanaka is the biggest and a really popular resort spot.
So there's a lot more to do there than just look at the mountain.
Definitely. West of Fuji, in the valley towards Mount Kanashi, there are actually golf courses, believe it or not.
Golf with the Fuji view. Nice.
Right? And then southeast, you've got the Hakone region, super famous for its hot springs on Kone resorts like Kimono and Kura. Great for relaxing after hiking.
Ah, Hakone, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's popular. And the local economy isn't just tourism. There's lots of groundwater, which supports paper and chemical industries, plus farming. Rainbow trout farming and dairy are surprisingly big there.
Interesting mix. Okay, but back to the mountain itself. Climbing Fuji. That's a huge draw, isn't it? What's the significance there?
It really is. Fuji's been sacred for centuries, especially central to the Fujiku sect. That's a kind of Shinto Buddhist mountain worship.
Okay.
So you find temples and shrines all around the base, and even right up in the crater. Climbing was traditionally a religious pilgrimage.
Wow.
Though, interestingly, women weren't allowed to climb until 1868. Back then, it was a very spiritual thing. People often climbed in white robes.
Things have changed a bit then.
Somewhat, yeah. The spiritual aspect is still there for some, but now you get hundreds of thousands climbing every year during the official season, usually July 1st to late August, both Japanese and international visitors, hikers alongside pilgrims.
And people climb through the night.
That's the classic way, yeah. Start late evening, climb through the night, aiming to reach the summit for sunrise. Goraiku, they call it. Seeing the sunrise from the top. Supposed to be incredible.
Sounds amazing, but tough. So, okay, if someone's planning a trip, Fuji area, what are the absolute must-dos based on our info?
Right, top picks. Definitely Lake Kawaguchi for the views, maybe a boat cruise, bike around it. Just relax by the shore.
The classic Fuji experience.
Exactly. Then there's the Aokigahara Forest, the sea of trees. It's unique, a bit eerie maybe, but fascinating hiking. Plus cool caves like the Wind Cave and Ice Cave.
Views, too.
Yeah. For thrills, Fuji-Q Highland Amusement Park has roller coasters with Fuji views. If you want the view without the climb, the Mount Fuji Panoramic Ropeway is great. Takes you up to an observation deck, nice cafe up there.
Easier on the legs.
Much easier. Oishi Park is lovely, especially with the Shibazakura flowers that pink moss flags creating this colorful carpet with Fuji behind.
Sounds beautiful.
And for that iconic photo, the Chureda Pagoda in Fuji Yoshida City. Pagoda in the foreground, Fuji majestic behind it, especially gorgeous during cherry blossom season.
Oh, that shot, yes.
Oh, know it. Also, check out Saiko Yashi no Satonemba. It's like an open-air museum village, restored thatched roof houses with craft shops and restaurants. Gives you a feel for old Japan.
Nice, a bit of history.
And one last fun fact. Lake Motosu. That's the lake pictured on the back of the 1,000 yen note.
No way. I'll have to check my wallet if I go. Okay, that's a fantastic overview of the Fuji region. So much to do. But let's shift gears. Tokyo's islands. I was honestly surprised Tokyo even had islands like this.
It really catches people off guard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this whole volcanic island chain stretching about 600 kilometers south from Izu-Oshima.
600 kilometers, wow.
Yeah, quite a stretch. Many look like mountains rising out of the sea, and some are still volcanically active, like Oshima and the Akijima.
So what's life like out there?
Well, fishing and seafood processing are big industries. And they have unique local products, souvenirs too, like really good quality camellia oil from Oshima.
And the food scene sounds special. You mentioned locavore dining.
Absolutely. The Tokyo government is really promoting this. They have an initiative called Locavore Dining in the Tokyo Islands, basically encouraging restaurants to use ingredients sourced right there on the islands.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, they even publish an annual guidebook, in English too, listing restaurants that are foreigner-friendly, maybe have English menus. It's all about promoting understanding, consumption, and production of the island's own agricultural, forestry, and fishery products. Very focused on local and seasonal.
Supports the locals, Gives visitors an authentic taste. Win-win.
Exactly. You might see signs for Tokyo Island specialty ingredient stores at these places. They're committed to using island stuff, sharing info about it, promoting tourism, even doing food education.
Okay.
The guidebook we saw had prices from October 2022, includes tax, but, dish availability can change with the seasons, what's fresh.
Of course. Standard restaurant stuff.
Right. And it has QR codes for online maps, which is super handy for getting around. Just need internet, obviously, maybe watch data charges.
Good point. So if you're island hopping, that guide sounds essential. Let's talk specifics. Izu Ushima, biggest one, closest to Tokyo.
That's the one. About 120 kilometers south of central Tokyo. Its main feature is Mount Mihara, right in the middle. It's an active volcano, actually, and a really popular hike up to the crater.
Hiking an active volcano. Cool.
Yeah. The island has a warm, humid climate thanks to the Kuroshio Current. Average temp around 16 Celsius, so pretty mild year-round. It's famous for its camellia flowers blooming, and it's a big summer destination, too.
And it seems packed with things to see. The list looked huge.
It really is. You could spend days there. There's a history and crafts museum. The high school has a camellia garden, Izumihama Beach, historical sites like Zakoya Kiyomaru. For hikers, besides Mount Mihara, there's the Ajisai Rainbow Line, lovely with hydrangeas. Hot springs like Mount Mihara Hot Spring. Parks, lookouts like the Aizu Islands lookout. The Baumkuchen Rock Strata section is visually really cool.
Baumkuchen, like the cake?
Yeah, the layers look like that. There's Habu Port, a Shells Museum, the Oshima Park Zoo and Camellia Garden, camping, tunnels, more hot springs. Even a volcano museum and a sunset pool at Motomaki Port. It's a lot.
Definitely more than a day trip. And the food on Oshima sounded like a ton of options there, too.
Oh, yeah. The guidebook was full. For seafood, Kaizenchaya Sushiku does a Shimadon local fish bowl and Beko sushi, which is marinated fish, kind of an island specialty.
Beko sushi. Must try that.
Looks like it. Kenichi Ryokan offers a traditional dinner course, maybe with horse mackerel sashimi. Green Tights Coffee does coffee with Oshima milk and this interesting chocolate coffee float.
Green Tights Coffee. Memorable name.
Isn't it? Triton Island ice cream uses local milk and flavors like passion fruit. There's even a food truck, Cadence, doing shaved ice with local fruit and fries with local salt.
Food truck culture on the islands, too.
Seems like it. Oshokujidokoro Otomodachi for Bekadon. Subaru Barrier-Free Pension has a nice steamed seafood meal set. Book Tea Bed Aizu Oshima has interesting hot sandwiches, one with island chili, another with local butter, plus ashitaba tea.
Ashitaba, what's that?
Ah, yeah. Ashitaba is a leafy green vegetable that you see everywhere in the island's cuisine.
Yeah.
Very versatile.
Okay, got it. Keep seeing that name.
You will. Tsubaki Sushi for more sushi. Curry House Kirikiri does an ashitaba pizza with camellia oil. Mantate has bolder stuff like ginger pork with island chili, even moray eel dishes.
Moray eel. Adventurous.
Right. Ryosaka Maru focuses on fresh fish dinners, starfish and coffee, and seaweed lunchboxes. Blanc Blue Nagomi for lunch courses and unique desserts like ashitaba shaved ice or pancakes with Oshima milk. Oshibana does Japanese desserts and pizza. It's just a huge variety.
My head's spinning with food options. Okay, what about Nijima and Shikinajima? They seem close together. Similar vibe.
Geographically close, yeah, but distinct. Nijima is known more for its rugged coast, white sandy beaches made from volcanic glass, apparently. And it has kind of a laid-back, surfy feel.
Surfing near Tokyo.
On the islands, yeah. Food-wise there. Izakaya Nihonbashi for local sake, fish, and that ashitaba tempura again. Oyado Samimaru is an inn with good food, BBQ option. Pool Island Cafe does homemade meals, sells souvenirs. Sake Zushi has a local squid noodle dish, akaika salt, yakisoba, and also kusaya. That's the famously pungent fermented wash.
Ah, kusaya. Heard of that one. Maybe I'll pass.
Maybe. Sunshine Nagamita Koro has a salty lemon sour with Nijima salt, ashitaba banana juice, tuna ashitaba hot sandwiches. Kurobi Stand does ashitaba cream soda. Ippanmatsu Shakudo has an ashitaba pesto pizza. Lots of ashitaba.
Seriously, it's everywhere. And Shikinajima.
Shikinajima is smaller, quieter, more about picturesque coves, clear water for swimming, snorkeling. Very relaxed. The highlight mentioned there is Guest House Hidabun's Milk Canton Jelly, made with local seaweed.
Sounds peaceful. Okay, Kozushima, what's the story there?
Kozushima. Think dramatic cliffs, hiking, natural hot springs. Food-wise, there's Hyuga Brewery making shitaba beer.
Shitaba beer? Okay, now I'm curious.
Right. Yamato does a shitaba pizza, too. Then you have places like Sawaya Cordon Bleu, Miyako Zushi for Kaizendon and tempura, Restaurant Sabusaki, and Oyado and Cafe Nora. Sort of a mix of adventure and local tastes.
Cool. Moving south. Miyakojima. Still active volcano there, you said.
Yeah, Miyakojima has had recent activity, which definitely shapes the landscape. It's got a stark beauty, a resilient feel. There's the Akakokokan Nature Center to learn about the volcanic ecosystem.
Makes sense.
Dining. Ikiyoshi is a Japanese restaurant. Pension and restaurant Hanamaduki serves kimmidai fish, keminote miso soup, that's gooseneck barnacles, and ashitaba spring rolls.
Gooseneck barnacles. Wow.
Yeah, unique stuff. Gallery Cafe Cannon has a special and mitsu dessert with ashitaba ice cream plus cream puffs. Shimanshu Izakaya for seasonal fish, kaizen dan, and ashitaba salad. It's about experiencing nature's power, really.
And Megurashima. That's the dolphin one.
That's the one. Small, green island, famous for swimming with wild dolphins. The food highlight mentioned is Fukurumaru Shoten's Kabutsu shaved ice uses a local bitter orange, plus ashitaba and sea salt. Sounds refreshing.
Definitely different. Okay, last big one in the Izu chain. Hachijima. What's it like?
Hachijojima feels more subtropical. Lush greenery, volcanic cliffs, lots of dining again. Yoyo Dokoro Raisu has ashitaba fried rice with island chili. Wahachite does local dried fish. Shimazushi, that's sushi marinated in mustard. An island thing, ashitaba tempura noodles, miso grilled rice balls.
Mustard sushi, intriguing.
Isn't it? Isai Chaya has ashitaba rolls and pizza. Kokomam is an island shochu place. Sun Marine does breakfast sets with ashitaba shumai. Rosampaku for local zuktan, marinated fish bowls. Aige the Susan. Shokudo does raw kusaya, if you're brave, and fish bowls with kamionote soup.
So many unique ingredients.
Totally. Hachijojima Jersey Cafe for rich dairy treats like cafe au lait or an ashitaba parfait. Izukai de Kichimaru does ashitaba tempura with ashitaba salt. Pizza Paradiso uses local Hachijima cheese. Kukanchi Cafe has ashitaba cheesecake and shaved ice. Senryo does noodles with ashitaba tempura and gyoza with local garlic. It's a real foodie island, seems like.
It really does sound like ashitaba is the culinary hero of the Tokyo Islands. It's amazing how they use it in everything from tempura to ice cream.
It absolutely is. It's clearly a staple, pops up everywhere, shows its versatility and importance locally. And don't forget the Ogasawara Islands, even further out. Less detail here, but Chichijima has places like Mermaid Cafe, Paku Paku with shark burgers, Heart Rock Cafe, fruit liquors at Uabeya. Their own unique vibe, too.
Shark burger. Okay. And you mentioned E-Mark certified foods. What's that about?
Right, the E-Mark. It's a Tokyo government thing. Certifies food products that are unique to Tokyo, either made with local ingredients or using traditional methods.
Like a seal of approval.
Exactly. The logo has 3 E's for Ishina, meaning excellent product. They check quality, hygiene, labeling, and the connection to Tokyo culture. So for travelers, they make great, authentic souvenirs, things that really represent Tokyo's flavors. There's a website for it, too.
Good to know for gift shopping.
Yeah.
And it's clear Tokyo has way more local ingredients than just island stuff.
Oh, definitely. The material lists things like special Tokyo X-pork, Tokyo Shomo chicken, Tokyo Siama tea. Besides the camellia oil and marine products, there's komatsuna greens, wasabi from Okutama, yellow striped butterfish, bonito,
Wow.
tomatoes from Ogasawara, edamame, traditional Edo vegetables like Narima daikon radish, blueberries, grapes, pears, corn, Udo spikenard, special pears and cabbages, strawberries, even a Tokyo gold kiwi. It's amazing agricultural diversity right alongside the metropolis.
It really is incredible. All this variety, the islands, the local produce, it definitely makes you want to look beyond just central Tokyo, doesn't it?
It truly does. The islands especially offer such a different viewpoint on Tokyo. You get the nature, the distinct cultures, and yeah, through the food scene, a really authentic, less traveled path into Japan. Venturing out gives you a much deeper feel for the place.
Well, this has been absolutely fascinating, seriously eye-opening. From Mount Fuji's, sheer majesty and all the stuff around it to the incredible diversity and flavors of Tokyo's islands, Japan just offers so much.
Indeed. And hopefully, with all these specific ideas, where to go, what to do, and definitely what to eat, listeners have a great starting point for planning their own trip. You can always jump back to the parts that grabbed you most.
Yeah, I think what really struck me is that chance to get off the beaten path a bit, especially exploring that locavore food scene on the islands. That feels like a way to really connect with the place.
Exactly. Japan has this amazing mix, doesn't it? Stunning nature, incredibly diff history, and these unique, unforgettable local tastes. It's the kind of destination that really stays with you. Hopefully, this deep dive gets people excited to plan their own exploration, maybe even find some hidden gems themselves.